Boy, here's another healthy, easy, fantastic kitchen prescription, Dr. Norm. Salmon with pesto sauce.
Well, salmon is a good source of protein, of course. And if you're going to use salmon, it needs to be cold water, wild salmon, because fresh salmon, farm-raised salmon, is really not very healthy because it's too high in omega-6s and not high enough in omega-3s. One of the reasons that salmon is good is it's a good source of omega-3s for our bodies, which we really need to do because omega-3s help reduce inflammation in the body. So this is a good source, and you're going to put a little bit of olive oil on, and then what else are you going to do? Well,
I thought I would put a little bit of pepper on top of it as well, Dr. Norm, because pepper isn't nearly as harmful, or really not at all, as salt is. Is that correct?
That's correct. And salt, most people consume much too much salt, so when you're cooking healthy, you really need to use other things to replace the salt, like herbs and peppers and various things like that, so you can reduce the salt.
Can you use too much pepper?
Well, it's a taste thing.
Okay. So. And then we made that great pesto sauce earlier,
sure.
And I thought, boy, what about putting this on the salmon? What do you think, Dr. Norm?
I think the pesto sauce really adds to the flavor of this. And again, it's a healthy sauce rather than putting other types of sauces that people frequently put on, as you mentioned before, a lot of the high-calorie sauces that people frequently put on seafood. This is a healthy one with relatively low calories.
Yes, and the thing that's great about it is it kind of makes a nice crust when we cook it, because we're only going to cook it for about 10 minutes at 400 degrees. Is that right?
That's the other thing you have to be careful when you're cooking salmon, because many people tend to overcook it. So if you're going to bake it, you really want to have a high temperature around 400 degrees and cook it for 10 minutes or so, depending upon the thickness of the salmon. But it's best that the salmon is not overcooked.
And most people, they cook it all the way through and it's dry. You can have your salmon a little bit tender and a little underdone.
Right.
Is that right?
And not only that, but when you cook anything like that, it's going to sit for a little bit before people actually eat it. And it continues to cook.
Right.
So you want to err on the side of being a little undercooked, and therefore, as it sits, it will cook to an appropriate level and taste better that way. It won't taste dry. That's what you really need to do. It's not get it too dry.
Well, I'll tell you, this is going to be so yummy and so healthy. Another great kitchen prescription by Dr. Norm. Voila.
Good.